Earthspark continues the Deluxe class figures from Cyberverse. Out of the first wave of Earthspark Deluxes, there is one that has been the most divisive among collectors. Some people really like it, while other people really hate it. Does it deserve the flack it gets? My name is Sint, and today on Sint Reviews, we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Earthspark Deluxe Megatron. Megatron was released in late 2022 as part of the first wave of the Deluxe lineup, and initially retailed anywhere from $20 to $25 depending on retailer. He is number 2 in the Mandroid Build-A-Figure series.
Starting off in alt mode, Megatron is an Osprey-inspired dual-rotor helicopter. And it's a pretty interesting design for one. This is the first time Megatron has been a helicopter since animated, and it's definitely a way to bring back this alt mode, I will say. The best way I can describe this alt mode is unique. It has a very manta ray-like feel to it, which, if anyone needs a custom idea, this kind of depth charge. But yes, you can see it has a very sort of rounded front that sort of tapers back and gets thinner. The winglets right here, they do kind of resemble the wings of a ray, but not really. The rotors at the front do spin, and overall, just like with a lot of the other figures from this line, he has some pretty alright molding, detailing, nothing too spectacular, but still I would say a step above Cyberverse. Paint on this figure is definitely better than Alita's. You can see the cockpit is painted. These little gray bits right here, those are painted. Some little headlights, I guess, right here at the front, those are painted in gunmetal. And you see some little red markings on the underwings. So some pretty bare bones paint, but he definitely still has more than Alita 1 did. Being an airborne vehicle, Megatron's underside is a bit unsightly. From this point down, it's fine. It's all closed up, nothing too obvious, but yeah, that's the whole chest right there, and you can see the arms sort of hanging off there. It's better than some undercarriage cable I've seen on airborne vehicles, but it's still pretty unsightly, and I can see it being a turn-off for some people. For size comparison, here he is with Siege. Sideswipe, they're roughly the same length. Here he is with another dual-rotor helicopter, that being Titan's Return Highbrow. And finally, here he is with Cyberverse Deluxe Megatron. Overall, Megatron's alt mode is pretty interesting. It's been a while since we've had a Megatron that turns into a helicopter. And it's nice to see this again. And for an attempt back at this, I think they pull it off pretty well. I do wish he was a bit bigger, but hey, it's a deluxe. On to transformation.
Megatron ranks as a 3 in complexity. He's pretty straightforward with nothing too fiddly and generally makes a pretty good dex toy.
So back to the comparison with Titan's Return Highbrow, that is the closest I can compare this transformation to. So you're gonna start off by popping the engine extensions off and combining them together to form his fusion cannon. So set it off to the side for now. Now, on to the actual figure itself. We're going to start off by coming to the tail, splitting it, and swing it down, rotate around the legs, flip out the feet, flip up this little back flap right here, and that's the lower section done pretty much. Take these hip panels, fold them down, take the winglets, detach them, swing them upwards, and lock them into place. Rotate them around, and then and then split the front section down the middle, swivel around the arms, and then collapse the torso, which will reveal the head. Take the fusion cannon, slap it onto either arm, and there you have Megatron in robot mode. I am a huge fan of Earthspark Megatron's robot mode. It's basically his IDW More Than Meets the Eye design mixed in with his animated design. And those two designs blend together so well and give us a pretty cool Megatron design. Looking at the figure close up, you can definitely see the IDW influence with the chest design, as well as a bit of an animated influence with the whole color scheme. And in general, like I said, I think it blends together pretty well. Some pretty nice mold detailing overall. The head sculpt, I think, could be a bit better. It has sort of a gomless stare to it, which I'm not a huge fan of. But, yeah, I don't mind the fake cockpit chest. And, of course, we have the fusion cannon, which I really like, the Earthspark fusion cannon. But, yeah, in general, nicely sculpted figure. More paint detailing is revealed in this mode. You can see some silver on his face, some red in his eyes, as well as on these little, I guess, shoulder launchers right here. Metallic blue on his midriff. The red on his midriff as well as just generally more red is revealed in this mode. Once again, pretty bare bones, but it's super effective, and I think it works really well. Now, as much praise as I've given this robot mode, it's not perfect. It does have some major flaws. The winglets on the arms not only get in the way of articulation, but are also quite loose. They don't tab anywhere. And that's especially an issue on the fusion cannon arm. It makes it very loose due to the extra weight added by the fusion cannon. In addition, I'm personally not a huge fan of the head sculpt. As I said before, that gomless stare and the likeness really doesn't capture Earthspark Megatron that great. I think the Warrior that's supposed to be coming out later this year looks way better in the way of head sculpt. And this butt flap that restricts leg movement from going backwards. So, for articulation, Megatron is pretty standard. Ball jointed head, ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, nothing at the wrist, nothing at the torso due to transformation, ball jointed hips, swivel at the thigh, bend at the knee, and an ankle rocker. So, pretty standard articulation minus the wrists and torso. Here he is with Siege. Sideswipe. Titan's Return. Highbrow, who as you see is a bit wobbly right now. And then the extra wobbly Cyberverse Megatron. I will say, in the way of joint tolerances, Earthspark Megatron was definitely a lot better. Overall, I really like Earthspark Megatron. I think it's a fun little deluxe that you can just mess around with. It feels like a good Titan's Return figure minus the Headmaster. It's not perfect, like I said. There are some real issues with it. But overall, I don't think it's a bad figure, and I definitely don't think it deserves the flack that it's been getting from a lot of reviewers.
I feel Megatron gets too much slack. While he's not perfect, he's not the trash fire people make him out to be. Going to show in this fandom, sometimes you shouldn't listen to the majority. See you guys next time. Bye!